Copyright, like intellectual property generally, has become a matter of public discussion in the last generation. And I think that's a byproduct of intellectual property in general becoming more and more and more important. The book that a couple generations ago, really was very hard to make an illegal copy of it by any means, now can be illegally copied for trivial, trivial with trivial technology and with a trivial amount of effort. And so you see the great advance of technology that has created new opportunities, but also new stress points. I've long felt that a major part of the solution is for people of all ages to get a view of themselves as being creative, of their work as being worthy of respect, of what they write or sing or dance or whatever as being something that they have control over and others can't just take away from them. The other component, I think, to that solution is for folks, again, of all ages to gain a better understanding of who's really impacted. In only the very rarest of circumstances is it a case where it's someone who's mega wealthy and that extra, song sale isn't really going to make much of a difference to them. In the vast majority of the cases, and I mean probably 99 point, now string a number of nines together to the right of the decimal point, the person who's being impacted is the cellist that I met at a meeting in Europe recently who lives and works here in New York City. She's not rich. She's making a living just like the rest of us. I have some art streak that runs through my mother's side of the family, which was born and grew up here in New York City. And somehow it sort of skipped my particular generation or something. But I have an aunt and uncle and cousins and now nieces and nephews who literally make their living as artists, authors, illustrators, graduates of places like Cooper Union, famous art and architecture and engineering school here in New York City, and then have gone on to write literally hundreds of children's books, illustrate them, graphic designs that you've seen on many, many products that have come from, my direct relatives here. When you personalize the issue that way and start to understand that it's not just some faceless, nameless entity that is very incrementally impacted. It's actually almost certainly someone who is very dependent and worked very hard to create that thing, very dependent on it for their living. You start to get those messages across to people of all ages, and I think then that behaviors start to change.